नमस्कार गुरुजी।
नमस्ते, कैसे हैं आप?
बढ़िया।
अभी शुरू किया?
नहीं, प्रेयर कर लिया।
ठीक है। Prasad ji, should we wait or should we start?
We can start. She's here actually.
Okay. Is it okay? Can we start, everybody?
Yes, we can.
Yes, background now.
Okay. So let us continue our contemplation and our study of Mandukya Upanishad. We've completed the first two shlokas. Today we'll go into the third shloka. So we understood that, we first understood the beauty of Mandukya Upanishad. It is the smallest Upanishad and it has only 12 shlokas. And in just 12 shlokas, it explains with immense clarity about about existence, about reality, and about ourself, our true nature. The most profound, the most significant, and the core teaching, the core spiritual teaching of Sanatana Dharma is given in 12 simple shlokas. And what is the approach? It is the approach that it takes is the traditional Vedantic approach of explaining or pointing to the truth using your day-to-day experiences. So the Mandukya Upanishad is a very practical Upanishad. The teaching is very, very practical. You can connect with it, you can resonate with it, because it's not talking about anything supernatural. It's not pointing to something which is a mystical experience. There's no requirement of any special type of body or mind or sadhana or anything of that sort. It is very simple, straightforward, down to earth, talks about a very common experience for all human beings, which is the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. What is called as Sarvatrika. Sarvatrika means that which is common to all beings. If it is not common, if it's some abnormal or some special experience, then it's only for it's not applicable to everybody. But it's talking about a Sarvatrika Anubhava, which is the waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Just by looking at the waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and making and helping us gather insights. Okay, something which is assumed that you already do, but clearly we're missing something. We're experiencing the waking, dreaming, deep sleep, but we are missing the insights from each. Right? You're experiencing the waking state, then you're transitioning into dream state, you're experiencing something there, then you're experiencing the deep sleep state, then you're also able to look at one state from another state, but never did you sit and question or compare or analyze or try to take out insights from the experience that is very common to you and to all living beings. And the speciality is the inferences and the insights and the understanding of these three states. They point to your true nature, about who you are, about what you really are. So typically when you wake up, when you open your eyes in the waking state, you see the world, then there are other people. There is what the other people think about you. There's something that other people think about you. Is that you? So there is what other people think about me. There is what I think about me. And there is what I really am. So there are three things. What other people, what others think about me, what I think about myself, and what I really am. Which am I really? First of all, what other people think about me, am I that? Other people have a perception, a notion of you, and that applies the other way around as well. You have a notion of somebody. The notion is not the person. And what you think about yourself is that you think of yourself as maybe roles, maybe some identities. So when somebody asks you, who are you? You probably talk about your ancestors, your tradition, your profession, your ideas, but none of these are really about you. Okay, there are some roles, there are some hats that you put on momentarily. So what others think about me is not me. What I think about myself is not me. What I really am is what I'm trying to find out with the guidance of the Rishi of the Mandukya Upanishad. So the Rishi of the Mandukya Upanishad declares as soon as the teaching starts, I am Atma Brahma. It is written in the teaching that he says, I am Atma Brahma. He said, I am Brahman. Brahman means what? Brahman means God. It can be, if you have to translate to something, Brahman is existence, God. So all that he's saying is, I am God. Now, what kind of audacity does someone have to say, I am God? Right? Is it an egoistic statement? People usually believe, I am very great. But here the Upanishad Rishi is saying, I am Atma Brahma. When the Rishi says, I am Atma Brahma, he's saying my self is Brahman. Okay, he's not pointing to the body. Like when I say I am Krishna, what I'm pointing to is not Krishna. The shirt is not Krishna. Or what is behind the shirt, the skin is not Krishna. Or what is the innermost core is me. So he's saying my innermost core, what is called as Pratyekatma, Atma, the innermost self is Brahman. This equation, my innermost self, which is Pratyekatma, is equal to Brahman. This is the equation that the Upanishad is trying to prove. That's all there is. I am Atma Brahma. How do I understand that? How do I understand what I am not? And how do I understand what I really am? What I am not is what the society thinks of me. What I am not is what I think of myself. What I really am is Brahman. But there is some gap. There is something missing in between. There's somehow me and Brahman cannot be equated. This cannot be equated problem is being resolved by the analysis of waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Look at the beauty of the approach of the Upanishad. It is just resolving your issue of not being able to equate myself with Brahman by analyzing your own three states of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Okay, so this is what we explored in the earlier two sessions of how the Rishi explains I am Atma Brahma, how I am not the body, not the mind, not the intellect, not what I think I am, but I am Brahman. Now it goes on to further, and it stopped by saying I am Atma Brahma, and that Brahman has four aspects: the waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and the beyond. And the beyond is called Turiya. So that Pratyekatma, which is Brahman, has four aspects: the aspect of waking, the aspect of dreaming, aspect of deep sleep, and something which is beyond the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Illumination on these in the process of inquiry will reveal, or rather will help you become clear of how I am Atma Brahma. Any doubts so far? Okay. So today's shloka is about the waking. So the Rishi in the Upanishad is starting with the waking state. So first we explore the waking state, Then we explore the deep dreaming state. Then we explore the deep sleep state. Then the state that which is beyond, and then have a overall view, and again come back to the point, I am Atma Brahma. So we'll take up the waking, the third shloka of the Mandukya Upanishad, which talks about the waking state. You can repeat after me. Jagaritasthano Bahishpragnaha Saptangaha Ekona Vimshati Mukaha Stulabhug Vaishvanaraha Pratama Padaha. So there are 4 padas to Brahman. Pada means 4 aspects to Brahman. There are no parts in Brahman. Brahman doesn't have parts, but there are 4 aspects, behavioral aspects of Brahman. And this is the first aspect, Pratama Padaha. What is the Pratama Pada? Jagrata Sthano. The first state is called the waking state. In Sanskrit, it is called Jagrata Sthiti. The second state is called dreaming state, which is called Swapna Sthiti. And the third state is called deep sleep state, which is called Shushupti. And the fourth is Turiya. Jagrata, Swapna, Shushupti, Turiya. Jagrata Sthano, first aspect. Bahish Pragnaha. In this state, your mind is Bahish Pragna. Bahish means outside. Your mind and sense organs are directed outwards. Okay? Constantly it is the compass, the inner compass is pointing outside constantly. Even if there is a inward turning of the mind, it is to do with some outward object. Okay, let's say, no, I'm not, I've closed my eyes, I'm in meditation, I'm not focusing on the outward, but you have the inner objects, mental object, still they're external objects pointing to some external object. Even when you are internal, you are actually only external. You're never really internal. Even when you're internal, you're only thinking about what to do in the external situation, or what happened in the external situation, which is the past, what is going to happen in the external reality, which is the future. Okay. Again, even if it's a present, it is with the external environment. So the mind is Bahish Pragnaha. It is moving outward. Then Saptangaha. There are 7 anga to this reality in the waking state. Ekona Vimshati Mukaha. It has 19 mouths. What this is we'll see. It has 19 mouths and 7 angas, 7 parts. And it is called Vaishvanaraha. And this is the Pratama Pada. Okay, this is the shloka of the Upanishad. Now let us contemplate on this shloka and the waking state. So in any state, there are 2 things. There is the seer and the seen. In the waking state, there is a seer, and that seer is called the seeing, the me, the individual. And the seer, the me, the individual, and the ego in the waking state is called as Vishwa. Okay? Vishwa is the seer in the waking state, is the ego, individual in the waking state. And what is the seen? The seen is the Virat, is the word, is existence. Vishwa and Virat. In the waking state, so Mr. Waker, now take you for example. In the waking state, you are Vishwa. When you say you, that you in the waking state is called Vishwa. And that Vishwa, how does the Vishwa experience the world? Through 5 sense organs. Okay, 5 sense organs. Then 5 organs of action. 5 sense organs are the five sense organs that you have: eyes, nose, mouth, ears, touch, and smell. Pancha, Pancha Gnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, five organs of actions: hands, legs, genitals, and the mouth. Five organs of action. You interact with the world with five sense organs, five organs of action, and to operate the five sense organs and the organs of action, there is an energy system that is required, and that is called as Pancha Prana. Prana, Apana, Udana, Vyana, Samana. So Pancha Prana, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Gnanendriya. How many over? 15. Then you have four internal organs, which is called Antakarana. Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. Manas is the conceptualizing part of the mind. Buddhi is the decision-making part of the mind. Chitta is the memory aspect of the mind. And Ahankara is the I thought. Okay? I thought, memory, decision-making, and conceptualizing. This four aspect is called Antakarana. So 4 plus 15, 19. Okay, this is the Ekona Vimshati Mukha. You have the body or the individual, the Vishwa, uses an instrument with 19 attributes to experience the world. If any one attribute is removed, your experience is not a total experience. Okay. Now the waking ego is called Vishwa. Then you go into sleep, in the Swapna. In the Swapna, the ego is called Prajna. Prajna means light. In the waking state, there is a physical light, there is a physical sun. But in the dream state, there is no physical light. So what illumines the dream world is your own self. That self that illumines the dream world is called Prajna. Okay? And the illumined world is called Hiranyagarbha. And then you have deep sleep. You go into deep sleep. In deep sleep, there is a subtle ego. There's no body, there's no mind, there's no world. Everything is gone into a causal state. And that causal ego is called, I made a mistake. In the second Swapna ego is called Taijasa. Taijasa means light. And the third ego, which is the Shushupti, deep sleep, is called Prajna. So Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna. So Mr. Waking, Mr. Sleeping, Mr. Deep Sleep. Which one are you? Are you Vishwa? Are you Taijasa? Or are you Prajna?
Krishnaji, could you please repeat the four stages? And didn't follow.
So in the waking, there is a waking body. So there is a seer, seen, and the body of the seer. Okay, the body of the seer with the seer, which is the ego, is called Vishwa, means individual, me. Then in sleep, there is a world, there is a sleep body. The ego in the sleep is called Taijasa. Taijasa means light. And the scene is called Hiranyagarbha. Don't worry about the Sanskrit. Don't worry about the Sanskrit words. We will inquire deeper into the reality of these. You can, if for English translation, you can note them as Mr. Waker, Mr. Dream, Mr. Deep Sleep. Now, why this is mentioned is to distinguish clearly that Vishwa doesn't know Taijasa. The waker tells the dream ego is unreal. The dream ego, when you're in dreaming, you're Taijasa. If you ask about the waker, he'll say no such being exists. You understand? And when you're in deep sleep, if you ask Prajna will say nothing is there. There's no Taijasa, there's no Mr. Waker, there's no sleep, nothing. There's no dreamer. There's nothing. Okay, so these three egos don't know each other, but you know all three. You say, I am only awake. You say, I only went to sleep. You say, I only went to deep sleep. You say, I was awake, then I went to sleep. When I was awake, I was in Bangalore. When I went to sleep, maybe I went to Paris. The guy in Paris doesn't know the one in Bangalore. Does he know? Does he or she know? Okay. Then you go into deep sleep. When in deep sleep, both of them, the guy in Bangalore and the guy in Paris, both disappear. Again, you wake up, but you say, yeah, there is changing of the world, changing of the bodies, changing of the egos. But I was there in all three. Okay, because you know all three, you are not all three. Do you understand? Do you understand a simple pointer? Because you know Vishwa, you are not Vishwa. Because when you knew Taijasa, Vishwa was absent. Were you there? You were there, knowing the Taijasa. Okay, forget the Sanskrit words. In the Mr. Waker is absent in sleep. In sleep, there is Mr. Sleeper. The Mr. Sleeper doesn't know Mr. Waker, but you know both Mr. Waker and Mr. Sleeper. You know Mr. Waking, Mr. Sleeping, Mr. Deep Sleep. So you are none of them. You know all of them. And the one who knows all of them is Atma. Is this part clear? That is why the Upanishad is specifying what is the waking, what is the dreaming, and what type of ego is in the waking, what type of body is in the waking, what type of world is in the waking. Okay, we'll dive deeper into it. Is this much clear first? The waking has waking ego, which is called Vishwa, and what is seen is called Virat. So there is the scriptures say it in a different way. I, the ego, is Vyashti, and the whole is Samashti. The example, I am a tree, one tree. Tree is individual. But the collection of trees, let's say a forest, is the totality. So totality is Samashti, individual is Vyashti. In the waking, the individual is Vishwa, and I see many other Vishwas, many other trees, many other individuals, right? In the waking state, you see many other individuals, right? They also go into waking, dreaming, deep sleep. So the one who is seeing the waking, dreaming, deep sleep in the other also is the same Atma. The seer, the real seer, seeing all the waking, dreaming, deep sleep is the same self. How that is so, we'll see. We'll see now. So all of you have bought the three, have the post-its and the paper. Okay. Place them in front of you. So make a, first, just before that. Oh, give me a pen. Just a moment. If you have three, all of you have post-its or paper? Everybody has post-its? Okay.
Yeah, we've got a piece of paper actually.
If you have a piece of paper, tear it into 4 pieces, 4 small pieces. Okay. So give me the post-its. Give me 4 post-its. Okay. Rather, you just need 3. Just keep 3. You can keep it aside if we need to use it later. Okay. So I want you to keep the 3 pieces of paper. keep this. Do you all see this?
3 pieces or 4 pieces?
Three, just three. Okay, and keep it in front of you, meaning in front of you there are these three. Okay. Now in the first one you can write waking. Waking. Second one is dream. Third is deep sleep. Is there anybody who doesn't experience one of these states? So whoever is not on video, if possible, please go on video so that you can do the exercise together. Okay. Done. Waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Now the first shloka is about the waking. So the waking has a waking body. So you can write waking, and just below waking you write Vishwa. Below dream you write Taijasa, and below deep sleep you write Prajna. So there is experiencer, or what is also called a seer, and experienced, which is the word experiencer, experienced. The experiencer of waking is Vishwa, individual, but the collection of individuals, not when you're talking about one individual is Vishwa, but it's many individuals. There are so many other individuals. All the individuals, the experiencer is one experiencer, and that one experience is called Vaishwanara. That's why the shloka says the experiencer in the waking state is called Vaishwanaraha Pratamapadaha. What is this Vaishwanara? Have you heard a word called Nara? What does Nara mean?
Human being?
Human being. You know why human being is called Nara?
That I don't know.
Ra means bliss. Ra means bliss. That's why it's Rama, full of bliss. Ra means bliss. Nara means no bliss. Human being is called Nara because he's become a human. He's forgotten his Atma. Okay. In the forgetting of the Atma, he's become Nara, no more bliss. If he recognizes his Atma, he becomes the same Nara becomes Narayana. Okay, from Nara to Narayana, from Jiva to Shiva. When you are deluded, you are Jiva. When you wake up, you are Shiva. So the Vishwa, all the experience and all the Vishwa is a Vaishwanara. Vaishwanara means the universal consciousness, the one consciousness who is experiencing through all the bodies. Now you will ask, how is that so? Because I am able to see and experience only whatever is the sensation in my body, the thoughts in my body, only I am able to see. Whatever is the sensation and the thought in somebody else's body, this person's body, that person's body, I am not able to see. How is a seer common to all? Okay. So then we use the help of the sleep experience. In sleep, you see a world, right? You see a tiger. Let's say there's a tiger chasing, and the 10 people are running. Okay. The 10 people are experiencing the fear and they're seeing the tiger. All the experiences of the 10 people are actually the dreamer. The dreamer, let's say in the dream you say, person number 1, 2, 3 are experiencing fear. The 1, 2, 3 are nothing but the dreamer's experience. You understand? The object seen is because of the dreamer. It's not because of the people. For example, whatever is seen, the experienced, is depending on the seer, the experiencer. The world is there because you're seeing it. If you don't see it, there's no world. Then you'll come and tell, no, I don't see. Okay, let's say I don't see the world. I am sleeping, but my wife is awake. She's seeing the world. Right? The Upanishad says the what is seen is dependent on the seer. No seer, no seen. No Atma, no world. Primary is the self, the experiencer. If the experience is not there, then the world is not there. Then you'll put an objection. I object. Because even if I don't experience, somebody else is experiencing. Okay? Is that valid? Vivek, following? Lakshmi? Kundaji, everybody's following the problem? The statement made is the seen is dependent on the seer. But you say, no. There are multiple seers. Even if I don't see, the world still exists. Even if I am not there, the world is still there, which is not true. How it is so, you will see the deep sleep with the sleep example. So the tiger is chasing 10 people, and you choose to go inside. Then you say, no. I am not seeing the tiger now. There are 10 people. There are 9 other people who are seeing the tiger. Okay. First of all, can the tiger exist without you, without the dreamer? Can the object exist without you? It can't exist. But you'll say, no, it can exist because there are other people seeing it. Even if I don't see it, there are other people seeing it. All the other people seeing it are only the waker who is seeing it. All the other people seeing it depends on the waker who is projecting all of them and seeing it. So the one seer sees a world which is also dependent on the seer. This is the meaning of the experiencer and the experienced. You understand why they're specifying Vaishwanaraha and Virat, why they're specifying Tejasa and Hiranyagarbha. They're specifying it because it all depends on the observer. The observed exists because of the observer. If you do not observe, there is nothing to observe. The tiger exists because of the waker. All the 10 people seeing the tiger are seeing it because of the waker. One waker. You understand? In your sleep, there can be thousands of people seeing the world. But all the world and the thousands of people seeing it depends on whom?
Us.
You.
Me.
You understand? Is this part clear? Any doubt in this thing?
Please, can you repeat that once more, Guruji? I mean, I've always had this. I mean, when I was contemplating, I always had, whenever I'm able to kind of understand, yeah, the world is because, it's I'm projecting. I always had this question actually that, okay, someone else is also projecting. So how can that be?
So there are two things, someone else and the world and me. Okay. The someone else and the world, both are seen, observed. Both are because of you. How do I understand this? With the example of the dream. In the dream, you see a world. Can the world exist without you? Does it have an independent existence? Let's say in your dream, you went to Paris and you saw the Eiffel Tower. Okay, and it's painted pink. And you wake up. Does the pink Eiffel Tower still exist somewhere? It is non-existent. It is dependent on you. You were observing it, so it was there. The moment you stopped observing it, it is no longer there. Now, when you were seeing the pink Eiffel Tower, thousands of people were seeing the pink Eiffel Tower and taking pictures and posting on the Facebook and Instagram and with the hashtag pink Eiffel Tower. Okay, everybody were experiencing and seeing it. What happened to all of them when you woke up?
Disappear.
Can they see the pink Eiffel Tower without the dreamer's consciousness? Without you? Similarly, what you experience in the waking is only one experiencer experiencing to all different bodies. Like how in the dream, you saw many bodies, and through all the body was operating only the consciousness of you, the waker, similarly, there is one consciousness operating through all waking bodies, and that one consciousness is called Vaishwanaraha. You understand? Is Vaishwanara clear? But you don't identify with Vaishwanara. You say, I'm Vishwa, I'm individual, because I cannot experience that other person's thoughts. There is a disconnect between me and the other. There is a disconnect at the gross level, at the body level. But at the consciousness level, there is no duality. It's a non-dual consciousness. There's only one consciousness, and that one consciousness you are. Okay? So everybody has written waking, Vaishwanara, dreaming, Taijasa, deep sleep, it is Pragna. Now, so far clear? Shall we proceed with the logic? Observer and observed logic is clear? So, two things, right? I observe the world and I observe other people. Do you understand that both the world and the other people are dependent realities, and you are the independent reality? Both the seen, both the other and the world disappear in your deep sleep. Do you disappear in the deep sleep? You don't, right? So what disappears clearly is a dependent reality. And it is a apparent reality. It appears, it's not reality, it is just an appearance. So in the waking, there is a waking world, there's a waking body, and there is people. In the dream, so let's take it one by one. In the waking, I wake up in the morning, I have a sense of I have a body, then I have various roles that I play, and there is a world. Is there any doubt that all of this is dependent on the observer, the real observer? No doubt, right? Okay. Then I go into sleep. In the sleep, I again see a world. There is a body. And this body, is it the same as Mr. Waker's body? No, it's a completely different body. It's a completely different realm. Okay? The dreamer, Mr. Dreamer, has his own or her own memories and ideas and notions. And when you're experiencing dream, the dream is a reality for you, and waking is the unreality. So any state that you're experiencing, the logic of that state is, in that state, when you're in that state is real. You understand? When you're in the waking is real. Dream and deep sleep is unreal. When you're in the dreaming is real. Waking and deep sleep is unreal. When you're in deep sleep, everything is unreal. Only the deep sleep is there. So what is there in each, we'll see. In the waking, in the waking card, write down what is there. You have a body. Body. You have a mind, which has the antakarana, which is decision making, memories, conceptualizing, and ego. Antakarana, 4. Mind. You can just put 4 dots. Mind, body, mind, and world. That's a world, waking world. And most importantly, you can't forget the most important thing in the waking state. What?
The witness.
No, witness is there in all states.
The ego.
Ego is there in different forms in all state. The biggest, most precious thing in the waking state is the waking state problems. The suffering in the waking state. That should be with a star. Write it with a star. The problems of the waking state, which is not there in the sleep state. When you go into dream, you have dream problems. Okay? The problems of the waking state lies with the waking state. It does not carry forward to the dream state. So what all have you written in the waking? Body, mind, world.
World.
When I say world, I'm including your relationships, job, everything, and problems. Problems or suffering. Okay. Now, anything else in the waking state? Okay. I think Shesharji, clear waking state. This is my waking state experience, and this is Sarvatrika. It is for everybody. Everybody's waking state is like that. All right. Now let's go into the next state, next card, which is dream. In dream, do you have a dream body? Is it the same as the waking body?
No.
Absolutely not. It's a dream body. Then there's a dream mind, which is different from the waking mind. Okay. When I say mind, antakarana, manas, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, all of them. In the dream, let's say you're in Paris, you will say, oh, you will never question, how did I come to Paris? There is an inherent memory built in that somehow, obviously, I took a flight and came to Paris, which has not really happened. You understand? Oh, one other thing we forgot in the waking, time. There's a waking time. Okay, so you say you have 24 hours. Is that 24 hours from the logic of the waking? And you think in the 24 hours, 16 hours I'm in waking, or 18 hours I'm in waking, and 6 hours I'm in sleep. But that is the notion of the waking. It's not reality. When you go into sleep, there is a sleep time. There is a dream time. Let's say you're in Paris in a dream. It's a daytime. And many times in the dream, you live many years. And from the waking point of view, you're only dreamt for half an hour. You've seen this in movies, right? Where somebody goes into sleep and they've lived a lifetime. But when they wake up, only some 30 minutes have passed. So waking time is different and dream time is different. Waking 24 hours, when you say 24 hours I am waking, that only refers to you have never seen, until you're actually awake for 24 hours, you do not see 24 hours. You only know how many hours? Only the hours that you're waking. When you transition into sleep, there are sleep hours. That is different. There again 24 hours starts. You cannot account for the 18 hours already being awake in the waking. You know what I mean? Whatever you say of time is also dependent on what state you're in. It only applies to that state. When you switch states, it doesn't apply anymore. Okay, so in the waking, body, mind, world, suffering, and time. Now let's go into sleep. In dream, body, mind, there's a dream world. Then there are dream problems. In the dream also you have problems, or in the dream you're happy, enlightened? In the dream also, problems don't leave you in the dreams also, okay?
I think there are more in dreams.
More dreams, more problems. मिताली जी, आप लिख रहे हैं? हाँ, दोनों का husband wife का separate रखिए, हाँ, ठीक है. Can't say same body, same world and all that. Okay. So, and dream time. There's a dream time. Dream time is different from waking time. Anything else in the dream state that we missed? Surekha, are you doing it? I can't see you. Following the logic? Okay. So waking, dream. In dream, I have a dream body, dream world, dream problems, dream time. Before we go into the deep sleep, one very crucial thing to say is, when you are in the waking, the dream, body, world, ego is unreal. Okay, so write down in your waking paper, other states unreal, this state real. And same thing you write for all, all three.
Guruji, while many times when I'm dreaming, like for the Eiffel Tower pink color that you told, my mind will tell that, oh no, I had seen it in different color. Why did it become pink? I will think like that.
Are you
So
thinking
that
that?
I'm thinking of the real, this waking state Eiffel Tower color in my dream
Okay,
as well.
that's fine.
So I'm aware of the waking state as well then,
You
because
are,
I know that, oh, the real color was something else. Why am I seeing pink? That kind of thought also comes in the dream.
thought comes, you see whatever you see in the dream is references from the waking only. That's fine. But when you're experiencing that state, you do not question the reality of that. You take it for granted. Even if you see a pink one, you might tell, oh, it was something different. But you will never feel that this is unreal. I'm in a dream. The moment you feel like that, you'll wake up. You'll change the dream, where again you'll forget, or you'll wake up. One of the two things will happen. No matter what you question, you will not question the unreality of that experience. Okay, so write down in each of those in the waking, write down this state real, other states unreal. Did you do that? Okay, now we're going to dream, body, mind, world, problems, time. This state real when you're experiencing it, other states unreal. Yes, Shesharji?
When we say unreal, it means like it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. It's a dream. Like you won $1 billion in the dream, you will not encash it. When you wake up, it's gone. It's unreal. Okay, it's a dream. So from the waking, the dream is a dream. From the dream, the waking is a dream. It's unreality. Okay, so waking and dream, are we clear? Has everybody finished it? Can you any one of you say what you've written in the waking?
Body, mind, world, suffering, stroke problems, and
Okay.
waking time.
Waking time. And also, this is real, other is real.
This state is real, other states are unreal.
Everybody's got the same thing? Does anybody have a different waking? Some special waking?
No.
Okay, now in the dream state, that is also same? Body, mind. Okay. Now, which of these two states are real?
Depends from where you're seeing.
Depending on where you're standing, that appears to be real. That means it is a dependent reality. When I shift from it, it becomes unreal. For something that changes, for something that becomes unreal every day, is it right to say it's real? What is the difference between the waking and the dream state? So I've written two things, right? Dream and waking. Both have body, both have mind, both have world, both have suffering, both have time, and both have the notion that it's real and other is unreal. So apart from the title, waking and dreaming, what is the difference between the two pages that you've written? Two post-its. Lakshmi?
The duration of the state, like how long we are in that state.
The duration of the state. The time, right? I just told you about time. You feel the waking is real because I experience 18 hours of waking and only a few hours of sleeping. That is absolutely false. When you are in the waking, you experience the waking time. When you go into sleep and you're in Paris standing in front of the pink Eiffel Tower, you feel let's say it's noon time in Paris. You have a notion that there are 18 waking hours. You understand? And many times, I don't know if you were there at this point of time, Kundanji, I told many times, in dream, people live years together. Okay? And when they wake up, they know it's only been some time. Half an hour or maybe two minutes. Actually, scientifically, based on research, do you know how much time you actually dream? 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Less than 30 seconds, you experience, okay, I went to Paris, I did so many things, I met so many people, so many years have passed, all that in 30 seconds of the waking time. Okay?
But that should be repeated, right, Krishnaji?
What?
In third, like sometimes we dream multiple dreams. All of that happens in 30 seconds.
All of that happens in 30 seconds. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So time is not a valid point to say the waking is real. Because when you experience dream, the dream time is real. Waking time becomes unreal. Time disappears with the waking. If it was there, even continuing in the dream sleep also, let's say you slept and you were still counting the waking time, then it's real. But the entire notion, you are in at night sleeping, but you are in day in Paris. There is no correlation at all. So time, based on time, you cannot say the waking is real. So what else makes you think the waking is real? What else is the difference between the waking and the dream? Because for me, both look the same, except the title that this is waking, this is dreaming. Both look the same. What is the difference between waking and dreaming?
Waking state is more logical. Now we are discussing logics here. In dream, it's all very illogical. I suddenly do something, all stupid things in my dream, and it's all very illogical.
All that is from the point of view of waking. When you're dreaming it, when you're in the dream, do you ever stop saying, oh, what am I doing such an illogical thing? You take it for real and you go along. You never question, how did I even get a visa to Paris? I don't even have a passport. Logically, I can't be in Paris because I don't have a passport. But you never question. You take it for granted that this is the reality.
The state continuity of the state. So when I'm
so then you'll say, no. In the waking, there is a continuity. I had done some work. If I go into deep sleep and I come back, again, there is that work left. If I earned some money, it is there in the bank. I can go and again utilize that money. There is some continuity. But that continuity is there in dream also. When you wake up when you go into dream and go into Paris, you still have a notion that you have some money in the account. You still have a notion that I've lived, I've done my degree and everything. There's still a notion of continuity. A mental continuity is still there. You understand? And in the dream, if you want to go and withdraw from the ATM, you can still do that.
Even in nightmares, like some of these nightmares, let's say we're having a nightmare with a ghost and some creatures. Where is the continuity?
Why do you call it a nightmare, first of all? Because
Scary.
It was scary because you felt it is real. If it is not real, you would not call it a nightmare, right? You took what you saw, you know that ghosts don't exist, but you took what you saw as reality. That's what I'm trying to say. In the waking also you have nightmares?
Yeah. So
in the waking, you don't need to see ghosts. You see some people's face, you will feel afraid.
Yeah.
Okay. So nightmare is common for both. If you want, you can write nightmare in that list that you have. Body, mind, intellect problems, nightmare. Nightmare appears in both waking and dreaming. My question is, what is the difference between waking and dreaming? Because both tables have the same thing. Both have body, both have world, both have mind, both have problems, both have time, both have nightmares.
Aspects of mind.
It's there in dream. It's there in dream also. Memory is also there in dream. Do you forget people's names in dream?
No.
Let's say you meet your son. You know that, oh, he has to be sent to school. You have a memory.
So the 4 aspects of mind are same, even in dream and waking.
Everything is same in dream and waking. There is no difference between waking and dreaming. So it is safe to say both are dreaming. So there are not actually 3 states. There are only 2 states, deep sleep and dreaming. You understand? So now let's go into deep sleep and come back to this point. In deep sleep, what is there? Start writing. Is body there? Don't write anything. If it's not there, don't write it. Is body there? No. Is mind there? No. Is your work there? Is the world there? No. Is the problems there? No. Is time there? There's no time. What is there in deep sleep?
Nothing.
Peace and relaxation.
Huh? Sorry, what was that? I can't hear.
Peace and relaxation. Like
There is peace and relaxation. Write that. Peace. Is that common to everybody? Don't write it before if you're not validating yourself. Everybody has peace. Shanti hai? Mitali ji. Deep sleep में शांति है?
अगर मैं ही नहीं हूं तो शांति कैसे?
नहीं, शांति है ना. तो आप जब उठेंगे तो आप बोलेंगे मुझे अच्छा रिलैक्स स्लीप आया. शांति थी वहां, कुछ भी नहीं था, बट वो शांति को देखने वाला है. ठीक है? तो शांति है. And there is bliss in deep sleep. Is there bliss?
Right.
And this bliss is unconditional bliss. It's not dependent on a object, because there are no objects in deep sleep. There exists a bliss which is incomparable bliss in the absence of all object. While in the waking and the dreaming, I am trying to get a small glimpse of this bliss through objects. You see the difference?
That's right.
All the bliss, the immense bliss you're getting in the absence of objects, while your whole effort in the waking and the dreaming is to get a glimpse of this bliss, but through experiences and objects. But you get it effortlessly in the absence of everything. So that means, what does this mean? What inference will you make? There is peace and bliss, and everything is absent. What is the inference? Everything disappeared, but these two things didn't disappear. What can you infer from this?
Objects are not important for bliss.
Okay, objects are not.
Bliss is always present. Peace and bliss is always present, regardless of the other things, whether it's present or not.
So peace and bliss is my nature. You understand? That's why it didn't disappear. I didn't disappear. I as a witness didn't disappear. And peace and bliss remained when everything disappeared. So my nature is bliss and peace. Just like the nature of fire is heat and light, right? My nature, the nature of the self, is peace and bliss. That's why in the Vishnu Sahasranama, they say, Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham. The form of the Lord is Shanti, which is your form. Okay? Is this clear? Everybody's written now? Now, all these three pieces of paper are in one same line. Okay? You all see? So there's waking, the body, mind, world, suffering, and this thing. There's a dream, body, mind, world, suffering, and time. Deep sleep, when body is absent, mind is absent, everything is absent, peace and bliss remains. Now I told you there are only two states, which is dream and deep sleep. Any doubt that both of the waking and the dream are dreams? So, which of these states are more closer to my true nature?
Deep sleep.
Okay, whoever feels it's deep sleep, bring it closer to you. Has anybody has any objection or point? Vivek?
Yeah, need a little clarification. I'm not usually very peaceful and bliss, yes, but not always. Regularly, I don't feel peaceful. So if I don't resonate-
We're talking about deep sleep. We're talking about states.
Deep sleep, yes. Yes.
In deep sleep. So I only brought deep sleep close to me.
Yeah.
The question is, in deep sleep, everything is absent. I am present, and peace and bliss is present.
Mm.
So this deep sleep is more closer to the real me than the waking and the dream. Simply
Okay.
because somehow there's a confusion. I am changing two bodies, I'm changing two minds, I'm changing two worlds, I'm changing two problem statements, I'm changing two different time scales.
Mm.
So there's a lot of changing happening in here. And from
Yeah.
the one state, this is unreal, from the other state, this is unreal. There is no stability in these two.
Yeah.
You
Got it.
understand? So I have brought deep sleep closer to me. Deep sleep is this state of peace and bliss is the common background. It is there in the waking also and the dream also, as a background, as a screen. On that screen, there is waking and dreaming projected. When the projection stops, it is deep sleep. Okay? You understand? Is this much clear?
Yes.
Now, yes, Kundanji?
अभी लेकिन ये जो दोनों अवस्था है, he's asking in Hindi, दोनों जो अवस्था है, दोनों अवस्था में अगर the dream is broken when we wake up, and when we die, the body is no more there. So you are saying that means the peace is always there when you have body or no body. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's your own experience. In your deep sleep, you have no body, but there is peace and bliss.
So after this body is no more there, still there will be peace and bliss. This is what you're saying.
After this body is no more, if there is the wisdom of I am Atma, when the body is there only, you are in peace and bliss. That is called Jivan Mukti. You don't have to worry about the body dying. Realization is Atma Gnan is realization of Mukti is when I'm alive, I realize I am peace and bliss, and it is it never disappears. Even if you're in waking, dreaming, deep sleep, pain, whatever, it is always there. You realize that you are Atma. You're not the body, mind, intellect. When such a person dies, death is irrelevant to him because he's already found something which is deathless, which is Atma. For the person who has not realized this, and when such a person dies, he transitions into another dream. That's all. Maybe momentarily there's some deep sleep kind of state experienced, and he transitions into another dream. The two journeys are clear. So death simply means from one dream you're going to another dream. That's all. Okay. Now, waking and dreaming are both dreaming, are both swapna. Any doubts in this? What I see is a dream. Okay. So if what I see, to see it, I should either be in the waking or the dreaming. Right? If there's some seeing, experiencing happening, it is happening either in the waking or the dreaming. Both are unreal. They're not realities. When you're experiencing something, it appears to be real. So Vedanta is not denying your experience. It's not saying there is no experience. It's saying it is just an appearance. It's not an absolute reality. Okay? But the absolute is what remains when everything disappears, and what remains even as a background when projections are happening. And that is the self. So since waking and dream are both dreams, are both appearances, they're only appearances. Remove them. What happens if you remove the appearances? When you remove the appearances, what remains is peace, bliss. No labeling. There's no labeling also. This is deep sleep or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Removing of the appearances. When I say removing, seeing the unreality of them and recognizing the dream nature of them, and recognizing my nature as peace and bliss with awareness is called mukti. That's why deep sleep is not enlightenment. You go into deep sleep, but it's unconscious. Okay? Again, you come back as the notion that waking is real. But mukti, the deep sleep is taken as an example because it's the closest notion that you can give of mukti. Absence of world, absence of body, peace, bliss. The only difference between mukti and deep sleep is in mukti, you know my nature is peace and bliss. In deep sleep, it's unconscious. Do you understand? In Atmagnana, in Mukti, you recognize my nature is peace and bliss. And what is seen is mithya. And what is seen is an appearance because of me. I am the observer. Because of me, it's getting projected. I am Brahman. And whatever is seen also is me. It's my own projection. It's like a spider casts a web from itself and then swallows it back. In the same way, you project the world, you project the waking world, experience the waking world, withdraw it back. Project the dream world, experience the dream world, withdraw him back. Don't project anything, experience deep sleep, again project. In Mukti, what happens is there is a projection and there's a knowing that is a projection. You do not mistake the projection to be reality because you know what is reality. When you know what is reality, projection doesn't matter. Whatever projection is there, it is there. You understand? And this whole inquiry or understanding of the three states is the gift of the Mandukya Upanishad. It's technically today was only about waking state. I just gave you a quick overview of what is upcoming in the sleep and the deep sleep and Turiya. We'll again, of course, go into detail in when that particular shlokas come over dream and the deep sleep and Turiya. You are Turiya, the beyond. Turiya is beyond waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Okay? Turiya is you are aware of the Mr. Waker. You are aware of the Mr. Dreamer. You are aware of the deep sleep ego. That means you are beyond all of them. You are untouched by the states. Okay? The states exist because of you. But you identify with the body in the state to experience the state. Identifying with the body is fine, but you forget your true nature. Then it becomes a problem. It becomes reality. Any doubts? I don't see any clarity on anybody. Is it clear or not clear? Waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Mamta ji?
Yeah.
Clear. It couldn't have been more clear, Guruji.
So going back to
I have a question.
who has a question? Kundanji.
Yeah. So in
Please
this,
tell me.
when you have this state of mind where you understand the three state, so how it is possible to carry out your daily activity then? Because it becomes so difficult to carry out the daily activity, what you do in the Jagrita Avastha.
Why it becomes difficult?
Because you don't feel like doing it, right? You are in a state where these this has got no meaning, right?
No. When you recognize your nature as peace and bliss, you will operate from peace and bliss. Right now in the waking state, you're begging for peace and bliss. It is absent. And you have a notion of duality, and there's a struggle, and there's a competition, and there's a fear, and there's a survival. Right? Atmagnana, Jivan Mukti, transforms the waking state. First, it removes the fear by bringing the realization that it's unreal. Second, because your nature is peace and bliss, you will operate in the waking world with peace and bliss. You will not work for peace and bliss, you will work out of peace and bliss. That is why Sri Krishna Paramatma said in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 3rd chapter in the Karma Yoga, he says, there is nothing in the 3 worlds, तीनों लोक, 3 लोक में मुझको पाने के लिए कुछ भी नहीं है. मुझे पाने के लिए कुछ भी नहीं है. But I still work. Why? Because I express the qualities of Brahman more and more through my work. I bring the flavor of peace, bliss, and enlightenment in whatever I do. Is there a difference? So this notion that my work will stop or something will change is a mental notion. It's for the mind. You're confusing again the mind with the self. You understand? Please distinguish between the mind and the self. Self-realization will, okay, I'll explain it this way. The mind has, I told you, manas, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, right? Manas is the conceptualizing faculty. Buddhi is the discriminating faculty. Ahankara is the ego. And chitta is the memory. When enlightenment happens, when you realize your true nature as self, what happens to ahankara?
Disappears.
Ahankara, first of all, it doesn't appear only. It is only appears and disappears. I don't know if you were there in the last session, how I explained about how I thought appears and disappears, right? Ahankara is I thought appearing and disappearing. In Mukti, what happens? The I thought appears, it becomes a tool. Krishna uses the I thought. So Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. He's using the I thought, I word. But the I doesn't possess him. There's no notion that I am the body. So the notion that I am body mind is not there, but the I is used to communicate with the word. So in the Vedantic tradition, it's called as burnt ego. A burnt ego remains. To interact with the society, they use the word I. But when they use the word I, it's very different from you using the word I. When you use the word I, you're referring to some identity, some being, some body, some mind. But when Krishna uses the I, he's not referring to anything. Okay? He's just using it as utility value, that's all. So I gets burnt. What is left in the Antakarana now? Manas, Buddhi, and Chitta. In the Chitta memory, a lot of the memories that are associated with I, they get burnt out, which don't have any transactional value. It's discarded. It's like a Yugadi cleaning of the house. All that things that you don't want, you throw away, right? So there's a Yugadi cleaning happening in the Chitta. All the notions of karma, guilt, all that unnecessary things is burnt out from the Chitta. Only, okay, but the Krishna knows, okay, if you show him a cup, he'll recognize it's a cup because the memory is pulled in. You understand? That kind of memory is not lost. So that doesn't mean a person gets enlightened, he'll forget how to drive. Okay, memory is intact. But all the memories, which is personalized memory, the personalization of the memory is gone. You understand? This happened to me is gone. This happened is there. Okay, this happened. Somebody said this. Somebody hit me is there. Somebody hit is there. Somebody hit me is gone. That me part is gone from the memory. From the Chitta, the I, me, mind disappears from the Chitta. Then Buddhi and Manas is there. Manas, which is the conceptualizing part of the mind, stops all conceptualizing about the self and the world. No more conceptualization. Because you know reality. You know reality now. To give you an example, you're walking in the dark, you see a rope, but you mistake it to be a snake. When you think it is a snake, you have fear, you have palpitation, you start shivering, you get scared, but then you shed some light on it and you see it's a rope. Now you turn off the light, again you see it as a snake, but this time you know it's a rope. You no more conceptualize, right? You understanding? Further superimposition on what is seen stops. So practically, the conceptualizing part of the mind dies. But the buddhi remains. Buddhi is the decision-making part of the mind. Now, this decision-making becomes an enlightened decision-making. Before, you were making decision based on memory and manas, inputs on the manas. So let's say your senses give some input. You see some ice cream or some food item. Let's say you have diabetes and you see some sweet. The senses give the input sweet. The manas tells, okay, the memory tells it is laddu. It is jalebi. Okay. The manas says, have it. It will be a great experience. The buddhi says, no, I should not because I have diabetes. But the manas overpowers. Screw diabetes. Have it. Then you eat it. Okay. The buddhi is influenced by the manas and the ahankara. In mukti, there is no conceptualizing. The buddhi is directly influenced by the atma. That is exactly why there is a huge difference in the teaching of enlightenment from the enlightened being and from the human mind. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, even the greatest of the greatest scriptures spoken from a human mind is like, I don't know what they call in Kannada, it's called yenjil, meaning it's like you put the food in your mouth and then you're offering to somebody. You've already contaminated it. The human mind has already contaminated it.
Jutta.
So now you tell me, all this is functioning, all this is happening. What is stopping the enlightened being from operating in the world? Why this notion that the realization of the truth will change some operation in the world? Kundanji, is the question answered?
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the interaction with the world. It is to do with the notion of the world itself. Is the world real? The world becomes unreal, but it has an apparent reality. When you're experiencing, it appears to be real. For example, in your dream, if a tiger comes, even if you know it's a dream tiger, momentarily you'll run because everybody's running. But there is no fear inside of you. You understand?
So, Krishnaji, just clarification. So, the last time we want to witness, in the sense, in practice, anything that happened, we were conscious that, we just have to witness what's happening and not react or overreact for that matter. This time, what we understand is that, we witness, and then we also are conscious that at the end of it all, there is peace, which brings us a sense of calm when we operate in day-to-day lives. How do we apply it in our lives?
So the peace and bliss is your nature and it's the background always.
Yeah. So
it's for you to realize you are of the nature of peace.
Okay.
No object can give you peace.
Yeah. So then So then whatever I am doing in my life, okay, that knowledge will give me a sense of calm. Like, let's say, if I've resigned my job and I don't know in 3 months whether I'm starting my company or joining, it gives me a sense of calm to say it's okay. At the end of it, there's all peace. That is my nature. And I continue to do what I do day to day as a witness only, without welcoming worry or trouble.
That's
or
true.
Going back to the past or fearing what is there in the future.
You will operate more from your true nature, and the intellect becomes very clear. See, the intellect gets biased by a lot of programmings, right? Your decisions many times are based on the programming, which might not be actually good for you.
Yeah.
So that part gets clarified. The intellect will start to see, is this really what is required for my life. That inner light will start operating through the intellect.
Thank you.
Okay, so how many states are there? How many states are there? There are 2 states, the dream and the deep sleep. The waking is also a dream. There is no difference. At no point of time will you be able to tell, am I awake or am I dreaming? Because you will obviously tell, I am awake in the state that you are in. In the waking, you will say, this is real, dream is unreal. In the dream, you will say, that is real, this is unreal. There is no way to tell which is reality, the dream or the waking. And both are a projection of the mind. How the dream is a projection of the mind. You understand the dream is a projection of the mind?
Yeah.
In the dream, it's so real. You have a body, you have pain, you see other people, you have problems, you suffer, you see other people are commenting on you, it hurts you. It is so real, but it's all a projection of the mind. Does any of the object that you see in the dream exist independently without you? None, not a single piece, not a blade of grass from that dream world exists irrespective of you. Meaning, when you switch the state, it disappears altogether. And that's the beauty. It doesn't disappear in parts. If it disappears altogether. Everything is wiped out. Let's say you had some profit and loss in the dream. You can't say, I'll keep the profit, only loss disappear. Both disappear. In the waking also, this is the same thing. Everything is projected by the mind because of the observer. None of the objects that you see in the waking are independent reality. You cannot say that, hey, this object is there even if I am not there. No, it is not there. Okay? Because the seer is only one. There is one universal seer, one Sakshi. You understand? And the nature of that, and that I am, that Sakshi I am Atma, Brahman. That is Brahman, that is reality. That is me. And how do I know this? I infer from my deep sleep, my 3rd state, or my 2nd state, where I see I don't have body, I don't have mind, but I have, in the absence of everything, there is a peace and there is a bliss. And there is existence. So Sat, my nature of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is existence. Chit is consciousness. Ananda is bliss. You understand? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Do you exist in deep sleep? Are you conscious in deep sleep? There is a consciousness which is aware that there is nothing there. Okay, if that was not there, you could not come back and say there was nothing in deep sleep. Somebody has to be there to tell there is nothing. You understand? That is consciousness, awareness. And then there is Ananda in deep sleep. Satchit Ananda is my true nature. And the Satchit Ananda you have not lost, please understand. It's not disappeared in the waking. It is right now also there. It has always been there. But there is a covering because of the Vaishpragnaha. In the waking state, the mind is focused outwards. You understand? Mukti is about taking the mind not inwards. When you take the mind inwards, you go into the mental world. Not in, not out, but beyond, to the self. The self is neither in, neither out. Neither waking, neither dream, neither deep sleep. It is through all the states and beyond. That's why it's called Turiya, beyond. You understand this? So out of the waking, dreaming, deep sleep, which is the most primary?
Primary.
Most primary and significant.
Primary would be deep sleep itself.
Deep sleep state is the more closer to your reality. The waking and the dreaming are the secondary. But you think waking is the primary and deep sleep and dream are ignorant state. You're missing the state of, and that's why I told you, what was the name that you gave to deep sleep? The ego name? The ego in the deep sleep, what is it called?
Prajna.
Prajna. Prajna means wisdom. Deep sleep is actually the state of wisdom, but you take waking to be the state of wisdom. You understand? The deep sleep is more closer to your true nature of Atma. The waking and dream are an appearance in the background of deep sleep. And this is the third shloka of the Mandukya Upanishad. It doesn't talk about sleep and dream and deep sleep. It only talks about the waking, Vaishwanara, Vaishpragna, and Ekona Vimshati Mukha. The 19 attributes, perceiving elements, which is Panchabhuta, Pancha Gnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, sorry, not Panchabhuta, Pancha Gnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Prana, and Manas Buddhi Ahankara Chitta. It also says seven anga, Saptanga. The 7 angas are the 5 elements: space, water, earth, fire, and then there is the sun and the moon. So it says the individual is the 19, which is the body, with the body and the manas, pranas and the sense organs. But the universal, the Vaishwanara, is the entire creation, which is space, water, earth, fire, and the sun and moon are his eyes. So it's a description of the Virat Purusha. So in the Bhagavad Gita, there's a Vishwarupa Darshana that Sri Krishna shows Arjuna. He shows him the Virat Rupa, his universal form, where Arjuna sees 1,000 heads and 1,000 hands and 1,000 legs and so many beings. The Virat Rupa is the entire samashti, the entire creation, the past, present, future, and all of existence, all creation is that one being called Virat. So what you experience is Virat. And that's why it's the shloka in the Bhagavad Gita says, repeat after me, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihir, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva, Tena Kantavyam, Brahmakarma, Samadhina, Brahmarpanam. The one who is offering, what is offered is Brahman. The fire, Brahmahavir, Brahmagno, the Havis is Brahman. The Agni is Brahman. The offerer is the Brahman. The offered is the Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Everything is consciousness. The experiencer and the experienced, both are one. It is the projection of, like how it is safe to say, in my dream body is a waker's consciousness. The dream Eiffel Tower is a waker's consciousness. The dream sky is a waker's consciousness. The other bodies are the waker's consciousness. The other minds are the waker's consciousness. There is nothing in the dream world apart from the waker's consciousness. You understand? There is nothing in the waking world apart from absolute consciousness. And you are that consciousness. You are not what you think you are. You identify, when you identify as Vishwa in the waking world, so comfortably, you let go of everything you hold on and hold on to something else. See, something that you hold on so dearly, your body and your relationship and your money, you so comfortably drop everything and go into your dream, where you start a new world, where there's no guarantee that you'll come back to this money and this relationship. Is there any guarantee that if you sleep, you'll come back? You easily transition. You understand? Because somewhere deep down, the inherent notion that this is not real is there. If you had a deep notion that is real, you would not swap states. Detachment is your nature. You understand? Attachment is only a appearance, a delusional thought. So anybody has attachments here? Any attachments? Detachment is your nature, because you so comfortably drop everything. At least the person who goes to the Himalayas, they'll keep some bank balance when they have to come back. You drop everything and go. The entire world, children, family, job, everything you drop and go into the dream without a signed contract that you can come back, without any guarantee that you can come back, without any surety. That is the level of detachment that you have, because that's your nature. Inherently, you know that this is not real. It's a experiential reality. It's not an absolute reality. It's too much? Vivek?
No, it's clear.
Clear?
Yes.
So, in the waking, you see a gross world, right? It's a gross world, like gross stone. In the dream, you see a subtle world. Okay, you see a stone in the dream, but it's not a stone. It's a subtle memory and projection. In the deep sleep, where does the stone go? Where did the stone go? It went into a causal state. So existence has three states. Like water has different forms, right? Water can exist as water, it can exist as ice, and it can exist as vapor. In the vapor form, you cannot even imagine that it can be like a ice, like a solid. Okay, so the vapor form is the causal form, which is the deep sleep. Everything that you know as gross and subtle has become causal, has gone into a vapor state. In the dream, it is in the subtle form, like the water. In the waking, it has taken a gross form, which is like the ice. So ice, water, vapor. That's gross, subtle, and causal. In Sanskrit, it's called as Karana and Stula. What is it? Karana? Stula, which is gross. Stula, Sukshma, Karana. Okay, but the Stula, the Sukshma, and the Karana all are nothing but appearances. You are beyond gross, subtle, and causal. You are Atma. And how you understand it, starting from your waking state. So is the waking state real? The waking state is real, appears to be real when you're in the waking state. That is its reality. when you realize the self in the waking state. Now the problem is not in the sleep or the deep sleep. Okay, the suffering is not, the dream suffering is still fine, and deep sleep there's no problem because there's nothing. My problem is in the waking state, and that's why it's called Jivan Mukti. You have to find the solution in the waking, the state that you take to be so real. If this test is passed, then you're really free. If you're able to hold the reality in the waking state, then you're a mukta, Jivan Mukta. Why I'm saying this? Because many people believe that mukti is some samadhi state. I need to go into samadhi state, that is liberation, and then I come back. There's a coming and going. Mukti is not coming and going. Okay? Mukti is not unconsciousness, not samadhi. It is full awareness. The mind is alert. There is perception, but there is a knowledge, gnana, atma gnana. Okay? And that's why Vedanta doesn't encourage any supernatural experiences. I went into samadhi and then there is no world, there is nothing. You need to be able to see and recognize the divinity and your own self in what you see. That is mukti. As long as that doesn't happen, like how you experience that status, the waking is real, you need to know the Atma as real. Like how your waking is real, in mukti the Atma becomes real. Self, yourself is real. Brahma Satya and the Jagat is, it feels like, oh, like some images appearing and disappearing. You interact with it meaningfully, but they don't hold any reality. So are you awake right now or sleeping? Are you awake right now or are you in dream state?
I'm dreaming.
You're dreaming. Why do you say that?
There are only two states: awake and dreaming. Dreaming one, and deep sleep the other. I'm not in deep sleep at the moment.
You're not in deep sleep. You're either projecting or in a state of no projection. So there is an absence of objects and there is a presence of objects, right? What is mukti? Mukti is not absence of objects. Objects are anyway not real. Objects are really not present. Mukti is recognition of awareness. Awareness, there is an awareness of objects and there is a absence of objects in deep sleep. Mukti is recognition of the awareness. The moment you recognize awareness, that moment you're mukta. That moment you're liberated. Dream is there or not there, how does it matter to you? Everybody's so quiet. Any questions?
Slightly complicated to understand. So I think, at least speak to myself here, what I'm trying to understand is if reality is not real, okay, and if only the deep sleep state is real, then what is the whole point in pursuing knowledge?
Deep sleep state also is not real. Deep sleep state is not real. It is a pointer to your true nature. It is the closest you experience to your true nature. It is used for inferences and insight on your true nature. Your true nature, reality, is self, which is of the nature of Sat Chit Ananda. To get the deep sleep experience in the waking is reality.
Okay. So what you're saying is the Atman or the witness goes through all three stages. And it is what the Atman or the true self experiences. Therefore, the knowledge or mukti makes it easier to witness whatever the Atman is witnessing.
So the self is aware of the three states, but there's no recognition of the self. In the waking, you identify yourself as Vishwa. In the dreaming, you identify yourself as Taijasa, the dream body. In the deep sleep, you identify yourself as no body, and that no body experience is called Prajna. But you are actually none of these three. You are the knower of these three. Okay. So this is to help you to see what you're not. Because what you are cannot be spoken in words. To give you an example in form of story, when Rama and Sita and Lakshmana, they had gone into the forest. They went to a certain ashram, Rishi's ashram. There were many people there, and this host, he had not seen Rama. So he asked Sita, "Who is Rama? Show me who is Rama." And Sita doesn't say, "This is my husband." He goes on pointing. "Is this Rama?" She says, "No." 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 When the person points to Rama, she doesn't say anything. She keeps quiet. Nothing can be told about your true self. Words cannot catch it. Whatever is told about reality is not reality. You understand the problem of reality? If it can be captured in words, it is not reality. It is beyond words because it's beyond the mind. It is that which illumines the mind. Words are very limited. Let's say you forget about reality. Let's say you have pain, headache, or toothache. Have you ever had toothache, Lakshmi? You go to the dentist. Can you explain the toothache to the dentist? You can tell I have pain, but can the dentist even fathom the pain that you're in? It is your experiential reality, right?
Yeah.
So that cannot be, that pain itself can't be communicated. Now you're talking about self, Brahman. Cannot be captured in words. But you can show pointer. You can say what it's not.
Got it.
That's why it is said Advaita. It is non-dual. It doesn't say it is one. The moment you say one, it becomes a word. It becomes a noun. It becomes a being. It is not one. It is not two. It is not anything. It's no count. It is not this. It is not that. It's not body. It's not mind. It's not intellect. It is not waking. It's not dreaming. It's not deep sleep. It is Turiya. It is beyond. What it is can't be said, but it doesn't need to be said because you are that. All you need to do is recognize what I am not. Drop what you are not. What remains is what is. You understand? If you want to see the screen, all you need to do is stop the projection. You're watching a movie, you're not able to see the screen, but you're actually seeing the screen only. But if you want to see the screen in its real form, you only stop the projection. And that's what happens in meditation. That's why it's called dhyana. In dhyana, you consciously silence the mind. Mind becomes silent, very deeply silent. Then the thoughts disappear, sensations disappear. What remains is the self. Self is what remains. And once you see that, it's a point of no return. Like once you've seen that that snake is only a rope, you will never be deluded again. Now, how does all of this benefit my life? whatever I just told about waking, dreaming, deep sleep, prajna, Vaishwanara, does it make a sense to your life? What is the relevance to your life in the teaching of the Mandukya Upanishad of this Viveka? It's called Avastatraya Viveka. Okay, what is it called? Avastatraya Viveka. So the one faculty that human beings have is the ability to know themselves. Animals don't have self knowledge. The animals can't know them. They can't declare I am this. They can't have a concept of themselves also. Human beings have an ability of self recognition and self knowledge. Okay, and that is because of the intellect. Now that intellect is used to understand everything. All this time, that intellect is Baish Pragna. You only used it to understand, okay, what is world, what is job, what is subject, what is man, what is politics, what is stock market, what is money, how does this work, how does this work? You have never applied it of who am I? Have you applied it? To understand who am I? To understand, to apply the intellect, to understand who you are is called Viveka. To understand who am I through the process of waking, dreaming, deep sleep is called Avastatraya Viveka. Now, my question is, this Avastatraya Viveka, is it useful? At least by understanding the stock market, I can make some money. I understand Avastatraya Viveka. Any use? Any use, Lakshmi?
Yeah, Krishnaji, thank you.
What is the use?
No, I'm sorry, but I'm getting majorly distracted at home, so I was just.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else? Is there any use?
There is a clarity that there is no me and other.
There's a clarity, there's no me and other. So what does that do to your life?
So that essentially means that there's nothing to worry about. I mean, when you think you are different from other people, then there is that fear, anxiety, whatever else.
When there is no other, there is no fear. Fear is rooted in the thought of other. Right? There was no fear when you were when the child was in the womb of the mother. There was no other. There's a union with the mother. Right? Then there's a separation. When there's a separation, the child, which has union with the mother and the child were one, now have become two. Me and the mother. What happens what is the difference between being in the womb and being outside the womb for the child?
Duality.
In non-duality, everything is taken care of. You don't have to worry. The child doesn't need to worry. There is no requirement for the child to cry also for getting food or to be taken care of. No action is required from the child's point of view. No emotion is required. Because everything is done. There's no notion that there's something other that I need to ask or give or anything. But the moment there is a separation, there is me and my mother. Okay? Then the child understands, oh, I am not one with my mother. My mother is separate, I am separate. I need to ask, I need to cry, I need to tell. Right? Somehow this lady who did everything for me without me asking, now is suddenly asking, Kahan dard ho raha hai? Are you hungry? Are you somewhere? There's something missing. The connection is missing. I need to tell. Now the responsibility is on me. You understand? There's a separation. And the separation brings the fear in the child. What if this person is not there? What will happen to me? Who will take care of me? Right? That's the beginning of fear. That's the beginning of fear in the human being. When you come out of the womb and when you start recognizing the other, initially the child is one. the child's consciousness, it still doesn't know other. The more and more it grows up, the more the other gets solidified. This is me, that is the other. That is Papa, that is Mama. Okay? From a non-dual experience of bliss, I move to a dual experience. There's a cut, me and the other. That moment, and that cut itself was a painful cut. Biologically, it's a painful cut. There's a separation, and that sense of separation is there from the existence. I am cut off from the existence. Okay? And that sense of separation is what makes everybody move. You see the world running, right? The world runs on that sense of separation. People are hungry for power because the deep sense of separation inside.
Isn't it buddhi?
Huh?
Isn't it buddhi? This is what buddhi is.
This is beyond buddhi. This is when the buddhi is not formed yet. This is more fundamental. This is existential separation. It's called the existential pain. The existential pain, let's say somebody has the brightest of the brightest buddhi. What do they use it for?
No, buddhi in sense of not from the point of the buddhi is the thing which basically makes the jati bhed, you know.
No, so the buddhi is an instrument. I'm talking about the separation that you feel is because of it's called the existential pain. That is your basis. And that has been the basis for many, many, many lifetimes, including this lifetime. True or false? And that existential pain is what gives you a sense of unfulfillment. And people try to fulfill with that, with a spouse, with a partner, with the children, with money, with job, with fame, with power. Everything is just to put the bandage on that pain. But nothing will calm down that pain. Because that pain, how did it start? The pain is a pain of separation. The only thing that can heal it is what?
Becoming one again.
Becoming one again, getting united with the divine again. You got disconnected. See, in the womb of the mother, the child doesn't know the mother. Okay? The child is non-dual with existence. Existence is the mother for child. The body of the mother is not the mother. It doesn't know the mother yet. The child is being taken care of by the universal mother. The child is connected to the universal mother. So when it comes out, even though the physical mother is there, that doesn't satisfy the child. Because inherently you lost connection from the universal mother. Okay? Getting connected back to the universal mother is called mukti. Again, going back to the source.
So Vishnu Mayeti Sabdita, that is what we mean, right?
Vishnu Maya. It's all because of, and the Maya is the illusion that I'm separate. Separation is only illusion. It's not reality. You can never be separate. It's like the wave saying I'm separate from the ocean. Separation is that only conceptual, but that conceptual separation, it creates many, many lifetimes. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Now, how do you fix this problem of separation? And that is also why the Mandukya Upanishad is so significant, because the core teaching of Mandukya Upanishad is about Omkara. So people who attended the first session know where I spoke about Omkara. Omkara has Akara, Ukara, Makara. Chanting of Akara, it brings what? Where is the vibration when you chant A?
At the root.
When you chant the sound comes from the navel. Oo happens to the chest, and happens to the head center. So three centers. You have three major centers. The stomach, which is called the energy center. It was also the center that was where you had a biological connect with the universal mother, with your umbilical cord. So the chanting of heals that center and makes you feel connected back to the universal mother. The chanting of oo is the emotional center. Because you became separate, you became emotionally disturbed. Right? All your emotional disturbances are because of the separation. If there is union, there's no emotional. They can't coexist. Union and emotional disturbances can't coexist. That's why in deep sleep you don't have any emotional disturbances. Why? There's non-duality. There's no separation. There's no emotional disturbance. But in the waking, how do I heal my emotional disturbances? When you chant oo, the emotional disturbances heal. When you chant ma, this is the center of conceptualizing, intellect. There is a superimposition. The chanting of the ma heals the conceptualizing part of the ma. And that is the Omkara Dhyana, chanting of oo, and ma in a certain way, which we'll do right now. And the Omkara Dhyana is it's called Pranava Dhyana. Okay? It's the most ancient and fundamental practice. U, Ma. So people who have missed the significance of Om can revisit the first talk, which is only about Om. How Om is everything. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you perceive is nothing but the absolute reality in the form of Om. So do we have time to do Omkara Dhyana right now?
Yeah.
Okay, before that, any questions before we go into the meditation? Is the waking, dreaming, deep sleep clear?
One question.
Yeah.
Can we say by knowing these three states, it will help us to depend less and less on external objects for happiness?
You tell me.
It feels so because I don't need to depend. Of course, it's not like, okay, from now on, I will not depend on external object at all, but
Okay.
with this awareness.
So Shesha, tell me, when was the last time you were the happiest?
Now.
Now. Okay, I'm very happy to hear that. Okay, so I am happy now. Why? Are you sure? In front of your wife, you're telling my marriage day was not my happiest day.
I'm looking at you.
See, he's telling in front of you that wedding day was not the happiest day. So why right now is the happiest day, happiest moment?
Because that's the true nature.
That's the true nature. Okay. So what about Pallavi? When was the happiest moment in your life? Don't say you were never happy. Your entire life has been suffering.
No.
Not seen happiness in my life. Okay, not
There
happiest.
has been
okay,
many. There
many.
has
Just
been
tell
many.
one that is very significant. It makes you even happy now when you think about it.
I can't think. No, I can't.
What is this? If I ask you what is the saddest moment, you'll have one list. One happy moment. When my son was born, no?
Yeah, yes, I was happy.
I'm not forcing you. You can tell I was really sad. That's also fine.
No.
Okay. Son was born. Shall I take that? Okay.
Yes.
Prasad, when were you happy?
Last was when my watch told me that I had deep sleep for 35 minutes.
When your boss told you.
Watch.
Watch. Okay. When the watch told you that you are deep sleep. Okay, very good. Biplavji.
So many times actually.
One. Quickly, everybody tell me quickly. Remember, think of one. I'm going to ask everybody. Quickly tell me what is the one happy moment of your life.
Honestly speaking, when I'll not go into very long historical back, but then sometimes when I'm absolutely not thinking anything, and that I feel very relaxed, and I feel that's what I want to achieve actually, and
Arey,
not speaking much.
आपको आनंद कब हुआ? Like happiness, when you burst out of happiness. Do you know what happiness means?
Yes, I do. I mean,
what when you were happy, when you were so expanded?
Yes, and that was, yes, I was happy when I got married, and I was happy when my son was born. So
Okay.
yes, those were the biggest moments, I'll say.
That's all I'm asking. Okay, Mithali, when for you?
When I got my first job, and then
when you got a first job. Okay, see, now we are talking. Vivek.
When I'm not chasing a deadline.
You know, that is just absence of trouble. That's not happiness. That is absence of stress, right? When you're happy, you understand the question, right?
Yeah.
When you felt that emotion, that sensation in the body, and you felt expanded, and you felt like dancing.
A few occasions, but that's all to do with some sense of achievement.
ठीक है, एक बोल दो ना.
One, even when I achieved something which was very tough, but I did it.
You did. Okay, fine. I'm only asking you so that would you like to have that all the time?
Yes.
Right. That's what I'm asking. Something that you would like to have all the time. So okay, something when you did your project, impossible project. Okay, Kundan.
I passed an exam which I was not supposed to pass.
Okay, Lakshmi.
So many, Krishnaji. One is whenever I play with my nephew, when I cook something, it turns out fine. The day that what you described, I felt it the day I resigned, the sense of freedom and being able to do what I want.
Okay. Some people get happy when they get a job. Some people get happy when they
I was very happy when I did
resign the job. Okay, Shanti ji.
The day my board exams got over.
Okay, so we are so actually unfortunate. They have cancelled board exams, CBSE in India. You know, because of Corona.
Yeah.
All the
my prayers answered way too late.
Yeah, we were born very late. Way too late.
Very late.
Mamta ji, when was the last time you were happy?
Sighting of the tiger in the wild.
When you saw the tiger in the wild. Okay.
Yeah.
Surekha?
Most recently when I made a set of 4 coasters for a client and it turned out really well.
Okay, some artistic achievement. Joga ji? Okay.
When started attending these sessions.
Okay, started attending sessions.
Because 3 years back, my Guruji took Samadhi. I had a deep sense of that I was missing something.
Okay.
It happened automatically when the threshold has reached to a peak. So I got everything connected back.
Maybe Samadhi jaldi lene ke liye soch raha hu.
Raja wrote me a big message after that he is so happy that I requested him to do this session. So he is
okay, very good. Chakrapani ji, last person. Okay, that's fine. So we'll continue. So it's very clear. Happiness is so clear. All you have to do is get another job, or get a job and leave the job, or take on an impossible project and achieve it, or have 2-3 children more, get married again and again, or keep attending new sessions. Is that the solution for happiness? So you have the recipe. You know clearly when you felt like that, right? It depended on a condition. right? It is called conditional happiness. And the beauty of conditional happiness is, in the same condition, it will not work. If you get a job, you'll get happy. First job. Second job, by the time you get the second job, you'll not be happy. Now you'll be thinking of retirement. Retirement will bring you happy. First time, one child, you got very happy. Then second child is very stressful. Okay. First marriage, very happy. Then afterwards, you came to know what real unhappiness means. No wonder you were really happy, because you had no understanding of what suffering is. Okay. Playing with the children, my niece or nephew, is happiness. But it's conditional. As long as they don't talk back, don't insult me, don't disrespect me. The moment they change, the same person who is bringing you happiness starts bringing you suffering. You see that whatever is bringing you happiness brings you suffering. And whatever is bringing you suffering brings you happiness. Toothache is suffering. That same toothache, when it disappears, it brings you happiness. You understand? Job is happiness. The same job brings you suffering. Child brings you happiness. The same child brings you suffering. Whatever you say brought me happiness, can it bring you happiness again? Conditions apply. You understand? And you have to understand, the whole point of Vedanta is to understand how that happiness happened. The happiness didn't happen because of the condition. Do you agree or disagree? You did not become happy because you got a job. You did not become happy because you completed a project. You did not become happy because you created something artistic. You did not become happy because you had a child or you got married. You became happy because at that moment, your mind became silent. And when your mind became silent, your nature, which is of peace and happiness, revealed itself momentarily. You understand? I didn't have a job, let's say, and my mind is constantly running. I need a job, I need a job, I need a job. The moment I got a job, the mind shut down momentarily. It became silent. When the mind shut down, your nature, which is happiness, revealed itself in the mind. Where did the happiness come from?
Nowhere.
No, it came from you.
Like that. Yeah.
It came from you. It did not come from the object.
Others. Yeah.
You say the child makes me happy. The child does not make you happy. The child creates a condition where your mind can become silent.
Correct. Understand.
Understand?
Yeah.
So all the happiness moments you have experienced in your life, it's just you have programmed yourself to be peaceful in those conditions. Why are you putting a conditions for your peace? Why can't you be unconditionally peaceful and enjoy your happiness, which is always there in you? Is it possible, Vivek?
Yeah, theoretically looks possible.
It is impossible until you have not seen somebody like that. That is the whole point of the relationship between the master and the disciple. In the olden days, in the time of the Upanishads, when these Upanishads were spoken, and even the case of Krishna and teaching the Bhagavad Gita, and all these in the spiritual tradition of Sanatana Dharma, this realization comes only because of the master and disciple relationship. And it comes because in the Vedic time, the students, the Shishyas used to stay with the master in the Gurukul. It was a residential program. Okay, they stayed there. And they saw the master interact with the king, interact with the different people, handle all the food for so many people, handle various challenges, handle diseases, handle death. They saw that, hey, none of these conditions are affecting the peace and happiness of this person. Then they realized, oh, it is our true nature. unconditionally, no conditions apply. You understand? That's how Arjuna also understood the Gita, because he's seeing Krishna. If the conditioned matter, Krishna had to be suffering in the condition of war. But Krishna is blissful, unconditionally. The condition of war doesn't apply to Krishna's happiness. He's still smiling, facing death. Somehow he's unconditionally happy. That brings the wisdom. You understand? You understand the mechanism of happiness? Everybody understood how happiness happened? How did the happiness happen?
When the mind was silent in the absence of thought.
So let's say an enlightened being eats a jalebi and an unenlightened being eats a jalebi. Both become happy. Okay? Both are happy. There's no difference in the experience. What is the difference?
The enlightened one knows why he became happy. The other person does not know, he's just experiencing the joy.
The enlightened one knows the happiness is because of me, not the jalebi.
Ah, yes, yes.
The unenlightened one thinks the happiness is because of the jalebi, and he'll crave for another jalebi.
Yeah.
And that craving for another jalebi becomes law of marginal utility.
God.
Every jalebi you eat, it gives you less and less happiness. You understand? It's just an error in thinking, in the intellect. Instead of associating the happiness rising from you, you associate the happiness came from the jalebi, the object. There is no happiness in objects. Happiness is your nature. All you have to do is figure out a way to remove conditions. How will you remove conditions?
By dropping the I thought.
By coming to the next class. Okay, shall we do Omkara Dhyana? So the Omkara Dhyana helps you silence the mind. It silences not only the mind, it silences the body, it silences the mind at the surface level of the mind, the conscious mind. It silences the subconscious and the unconscious mind. Mind has many layers, right? It silences the mind at the deepest layer and the body at the deepest layer. And that heals the body and mind. And that healing refreshes the body and mind and gives you an experience of divinity, sense of bliss, peace in the waking state. Okay? And Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, this simple Omkara Dhyana itself will lead you to Mukti. If somebody doesn't get Jivan Mukti, if they simply do the Omkara, have practiced Omkara Dhyana, or just recollect Om at the time of death, they will not have another birth. They will transition at the time of death. If you have not got Jivan Mukti. So it's a backup plan. If you miss Jivan Mukti, all you have to do is recollect Om at the time of death. And that is the promise of Sri Krishna. Shall we do Omkara Dhyana? Okay. So has it been some time since all of you have eaten? As in had some food, water and all that?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm talking to? I didn't get what? Okay, so everybody has, meaning everybody has an empty stomach, right? So before we do the Omkara Dhyana, we'll activate the prana. This is called Prananusandhana. Just to enter, it's like a warm up before you do the exercise, right? So first we will do one round of deep breathing. Normally, have you seen the child breathe? How does a child breathe? The child breathes from the stomach.
From within, more tummy.
The child's breathing is deep. If you observe the child, the stomach moves. When they breathe in, the stomach expands. And when they breathe out, the stomach contracts. The breathing, the breath and the mind are closely related. If the breath is agitated, the mind is agitated. If the mind is agitated, the breath is agitated. Like when you get angry, how is the breath? The breath is very fast. It's only in the nose. Okay? Or only till here. When you're relaxed, your breath is deeper. The child, the breath is very deep. It's from the stomach. The child breathes from the stomach. That's why the mind of the child is also not very agitated. It's very relaxed. So let us do one round of deep breathing, which is from stomach. So when you breathe in, and whenever you breathe in the entire exercise, don't make a sound from the nose. Try to breathe without sound. Breathe in deep, goes deep, slowly, very gently, no force, no strain. Gently, when you breathe in, stomach expands. When you breathe out, stomach goes in. Breathe in deep, stomach expands, breathe out. So on an average, normally, you take a lot of breaths per minute. If you just simply reduce the number of breaths per minute, your mind immediately silences. Okay? So if you reduce the number of breaths to 5 or 6, otherwise it's 60 or 70 breaths per minute. If you reduce to 5 or 6, the mind calms down. So let us do first a deep breathing. Close your eyes. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Breathe in deep. Inhale. As you inhale, the stomach expands. Exhale. As you exhale, the stomach moves in. Now, breathe in and mentally count to 10. One breath is 10 seconds, 10 counts. Breathe in, count 10. Once you're done 10, breathe out, count 10 again. So this way, do 5 rounds. 5 rounds of breathing in and out, 20 seconds. Mentally keep count. As you breathe in and out slowly and silently and deep, become deeply silent and relaxed. Now, let us do Kapalabhati, which is basically fast breathing for 90 counts, 30 counts each time. Just open your eyes quickly. Before we start, just clear your nose, close one nostril, and breathe out 10 times. Then close the other nostril and clear your other nostril. Breathe out forcefully 10 times. Forcefully and fast. Okay, cleared both the nostrils, everybody? Okay, now we'll do Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati means it is a forceful exhalation, no inhalation. Forceful inhalation will, if it happens automatically, let it happen. Forceful exhalation continuously for 30 counts and like that 3 times, but we'll take a break after each round. So when you do this forcefully, a lot of energy gets moved to the brain, and there's a lot of energy that gets pushed to the brain, and the mind becomes silent. So let's do Kapalabhati. First round, 30 counts. Sit straight, and let's begin. Only breathe out. Stop. Stop. Observe. The mind has stopped. Maybe even the breath has stopped. Those who are able to do it again, continue again, 30 times, fast. Stop. The mind has stopped, the breath has stopped. You have become relaxed. Last round, 30 times again. Stop. Relax. Let the breathing happen naturally. Now, let us start Omkara Dhyana. Let us start with Akara. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your spine straight. Sit comfortably in a meditative posture and just follow the guided instructions. We'll start by chanting Akara. Akara vibrates in the navel region. Keep your attention in the navel region as you chant Akara. Chanting of Akara energizes the energy center and connects you with the universal mother Adi Parashakti. Let us chant. Repeat after me. You can chant along with me now. When you chant Akara, keep your attention on the navel center. Silently. Now let us chant Ukara. The vibration, the energy movements happen in the chest area, the heart center, the emotional center. Ukara, chanting of Ukara, purifies the emotional center and annihilates all disturbing emotions from your life. Let us chant Omkara together. Ooh. 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 Observe the energy movement in the chest area. Now, let us chant Makara. The chanting of Makara creates the vibration in the head region, and purifies and heals and activates various center in the brain, which opens up various divine experiences. Let us chant Makara together. Again. Silently. Now let us chant Akara, Ukara, Makara together like Om, and observe the energy movement from the bottom of your spine to the top of the head, and then observe the sides. Let us start. Again. Sit silently. Let us chant Omkara. Slowly open your eyes. Mamtaji, are you able to do?
Yes.
Yeah, what happened?
For a few moments, mind became calm.
Became calm.
Yeah.
Do you have thoughts?
No, for most of the time, no.
Okay. So did you observe the breathlessness after the Kapalabhati?
Not really.
No. So breath, when I say breathlessness, momentarily the breath stops.
Ah,
There's
yeah,
no
sure.
need, there's no requirement to breathe also, because you
Correct.
pushed so much breath to the brain.
Yeah.
If you do it right, the breath stops. Were other people able to observe that in Kapalabhati?
Yeah.
So
Kind of dizziness, I can say. The brain was light.
right. So Omkar, were everybody able to do the Omkar Dhyana? Pallavi, Prasad, what is the effect?
Felt very peaceful.
So this actually should be, we should give more time to this, and maybe like 1 hour, 1 hour or 2 hours. If you do it for a longer time, you enter into a deep state of silence with full awareness. It's not sleep. It will be like deep sleep, but you'll be fully aware. The mind is fully alert of everything. So Vivek,
Yes.
was the mind peaceful?
Yes, it was.
Lakshmi? Lakshmi?
Yes, yes, Krishnaji. Very nice. Thank you.
You were able to meditate? Omkar, Akar, Okar, Makar?
Yes.
Kundanji?
Yes.
Sheshadriji? Suman?
Yes.
So
It
this
feels good.
feels good.
You can say now I'm happy.
I have a question, Krishnaji.
Yeah, please.
Like you were saying, if we can do it for an hour or maybe 2 hours. So what is the process like? We started with u, ma, then only, no, we started with only 3-4 times, then u, and then ma, and then u, ma, and then om,
Yeah.
and then silence.
Right.
So how to do it for an hour? We have to keep on chanting, and then there's number of chants, or we can do it for, say, suppose 5 times, or any number of counts we have to do, and then go into silence and meditate. What
Yeah,
is the
you can.
process?
For the beginning, you can just start with 3 counts: 3 times, u 3 times, ma 3 times, and then uma together 3 times, then omkara 3 times. But increase the gaps.
Okay.
A longer silence. Increase the duration of the silence. What is important is the silence.
Right.
Sound to silence. So just
Right.
3 is enough, or even 1 is enough.
Okay.
Uma, then uma together, and om, even 1, but long duration of silence.
Okay.
The idea is to go back to your true nature of Satchitananda. And also the Omkara meditation itself, unlike many other meditation practices, it's not a meditation practice. it is the fundamental, this is how universe operates right now. Universe is doing akara, ukara, makara right now. It's projecting, observing, the birth, dissolution is all happening at various levels, at a microscopic level, at a macroscopic level. You're just tuning to that.
Right.
That's why Omkara. So you see, you've seen all these storybooks and movies where all these saints, all these yogis are sitting in the Himalayas and meditating. No, they're all doing Omkara meditation. The Omkara meditation is the most ancient and most sacred. That's why Sri Krishna also teaches Omkara meditation on the battlefield to Arjuna. Okay, it is your umbilical cord to the universal mother.
Thank you.
Does it make the mind peaceful or not?
Yes, it did.
मिताली जी?
Yes, very.
मन शांत हुआ?
हाँ जी. बोल अभी कुछ भी कहने की इच्छा नहीं हो रही.
हाँ. Yes, Shanti ji.
Yeah, Krishna ji, I have one question. Like meditation, one is this Omkara meditation, the other one is maintaining silence or observing silence, or your breath. So there are two kinds. So what should we focus on? I mean, are they the same thing? We achieve the same thing, like the bliss, silence, peace,
Yeah.
I mean,
so
what should be the approach?
So the practices are many. Meditations are of many types, right? Observing the breath, observing some center in the body, chanting of Om, then the some breathing practices.
Yeah.
The whatever done with Gnan, so it's two things. There is Dhyan and Gnan, right? The Gyan without Dhyan, what happens to Gyan? It will only be intellectual. Gyan without Dhyan, you have not spent time in silence, but you only know. It will only remain as knowing, intellectual. It becomes experiential when you see for yourself. And that seeing for yourself is actually not called dhyan, it's called nididhyas. In Vedanta, it's called nididhyas, where you are, with gnana, you're entering into silence. That is called jnana samadhi. Otherwise, if you go into silence, mind can go into silence unconsciously. If you do kapalabhati, your mind becomes silent because your breath becomes mechanically. But there is no gnana. When it comes back again, it will be the same foolish mind.
Yeah.
You understand? So both have to go together. So when you do any meditation, what meditation is do is not important. What is the jnana is the important part. So in Omkara, I initiated you into Omkara. You were initiated right now. Okay. So in whatever you get initiated by from any master, you can do that. And whatever resonates with you, whatever, without stress, without pressure, gently, naturally takes you to your silent state.
Okay.
That is what is prescribed for you.
All right.
Nobody can tell this is what is right for you. You have to tell. Yeah. How do I tell? How do I know what is right for me? Is this? How do I know which practice is right for me? Is if it is effortless for me.
Yeah.
But there'll come a time where you can't put effort into doing any practice. Naturally, you'll slip into the silence. Okay, that is because of Atma Jnana.
Thank you.
Any other doubts? So in the next session, we'll take up the fourth shloka of the Mandukya Upanishad, which talks about the dream state. And again, we'll look at why dream state is called dream state. How is it different from the waking state? Or is it really different? Again, the same thing in a different way.
Okay.
So shall we close for the day? Asatoma
Asatoma
Sadgamaya
Sakramaya.
Tamasoma.
Tamasoma.
Jyotirgamaya.
Jyotirgamaya.
Mrityorma.
Mrityurma.
Amritam gamaya.
Amritam gamaya.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Shanti.
Loka samasta.
Loka samasta.
Sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhino bhavantu.
Loka samasta.
Loka samasta.
Sukhino bhavantu. Harihi Om.
Harihi Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om.
Harihi Om.
My pranams to all. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna ji.
Hari Om.
Thanks a lot,
Hari Om.
Krishna ji.
Thank you, Krishna ji.
Hari Om.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
you.
Hari Om.
Bye.